What's good, family? Xeonix here. I have a question for you. When you think about Sonic, what would be your favorite game? You don't actually have to answer this, but I'm gonna assume that most of the time, depending on what you grew up on, or if it's just your general favorite, you would say something like SA1, SA2, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Generations, even the storybook games that released on the Wii. I'm one of them, because I grew up on Sonic and the Secret Rings, so it's my all-time favorite for that reason. Obviously it's not as good as the other games mentioned, but anyway. We have Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Generations, even Sonic Rush, Sonic Rush Adventure. Those games are pretty good. That could be your favorite. Heck, even Sonic Colors. If you grew up on that as well. I also grew up on that, but we're not going to talk about that. But anyway, all I'm here to say is, you have some amazing taste, and I couldn't agree more. But with every great game that Sega has released, there's always been a lot of drought, a lot of nitpicks, a lot of kind of games, and let's just say Sonic Forces isn't shy on that. It doesn't feel afraid to stand in the light of that. Now, I'm already going off the high end there, like saying that, I know, even though the whole point of this video is for me to go back on the game and see if the hit was really forced, or if it was as good as I remembered it. Now that I've gone back on playing it, spoiler alert, I'm probably going to have a mental breakdown, but I'm not gonna lie, I've gone back and played it, and the game fucking sucks. The game actually just sucks. I don't like, I'm sorry, but it's not as good as I remembered it at all. But instead of me just saying that, I'm going to take you guys with me and I'm going to explain it along the way. So without further ado, let's get into this game. Well, that's already a bad fucking sign. Yes! So Super Sonic, the form in which you would unlock by collecting all the emeralds, as a reward for playing the game and actually going out of your way to do all these emerald unlockings, you get it off rip as DLC. Now, I can understand one thing where you didn't have enough time to implement special stages, but to implement the whole thing as just straight DLC, not even like it couldn't even be like a quick set of rushed mini games, where you've actually gone out of your way to make them fun, at least, is one thing. But to just outright just say, base game, oh yeah, here you go, here's a free coupon for some Sonic Forces Super Sonic add-on. I already don't like where this is going. I don't know what my naive little young self thought when I was like, oh yeah, Super Sonic is free or free. Every game you had to grind to unlock the form. It's the whole premise of Super Sonic. It's not a freebie. But anyways, let's talk about Act 1 when we first get in the game. Obviously, as you may have been able to tell from before, the controls are quite dank. Sonic controls weirdly compared to the other games. He even has more bumpy animations when crouched than actually when he stands. I'm not kidding. He has more movement when he's crouched than when he's doing his idle stand animation. Are you pulling my leg here? Like, it just doesn't make sense. He doesn't even look like he has animation. Like, yeah, you can see him slightly moving his head up and down, but he doesn't even blink. He stares. He stands there, stares, either until you quit the game or until you get him moving again. I find this very disorientating, and it's not what I like to see in a Sonic game. Usually he's supposed to be like, checking his invisible watch, or trying to hurry us, the player, to actually get him moving because he's getting bored. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the boosting is somewhat fun, but I've also come to realize after getting hit by the first spot, I tested out to see if they do anything, and lo and behold, they do absolutely nothing. literally nothing. They stand there and literally just watch you walk up to them. Sonic isn't getting damaged by them. He's getting damaged by running into them without boost. And also, don't mind my inadequate random dashes that I do after jumping. I'm I think it was Frontiers, right? Oh, I think it was from Frontiers. I could be very wrong, but no, it wasn't from Frontiers. It was from Sonic and X Shadow Gens. That game has got me so used to just pressing X and then square to homing attack that I thought the same controls would apply in this game. So that's why I did the random boosts when I was in the air when I shouldn't have. But yeah. So far with this game, from when I'm going back and playing it, it doesn't feel the worst in the world, but at the same time, it feels like something's missing. Like the freedom. Like, I'm technically coming from playing Sonic X Shadow Generations, and I can say without a doubt, this is one of the worst controlled games of a Sonic game I've ever played. Even Sonic and the Secret Rings had better fluidity between the controls and animations. And that says something concerning the fact that all you have to do is literally hold your Wii stick and just point up, point down, obviously while rotated, tilt left, tilt right. And you have about 5 buttons. You know? And it just, that's not the kind of comparison I want to make when I'm playing a Sonic game that's been released. For consoles and devices where you can use a whole lot more than just 10 buttons, you can use about 12. On a keyboard, you can use even more. But it just, it doesn't make sense in the slightest. I don't know why they've done this. Why have they settled with such minimal movement, minimal animations, minimal control, when other games have showed more animation? Sonic Colors has more animation, for God's sakes. I don't understand. I really don't. It doesn't make sense to me in the slightest. And but anyway, that's Act 1. Good luck controlling Sonic if you haven't played this game before. Or if you haven't played any Sonic game before. This really takes the cake for being the hardest Sonic to maneuver with the stupid acceleration. But here we go with the aftermath of Act 1. Sonic fights Infinite, sorry. And he gets pieced up. They really set this game up for having a really, really good story. Showing Sonic get defeated. Not condoning that I like seeing Sonic get defeated. It showed promise for a very good story about trying to fight back. And so far it's alright. I don't really care all that much, but they went and summed up 6 months of Sonic being gone in like 5 sentences. So do with that what you will. But yeah, apparently Tails has completely lost it. I don't know, he seems pretty fine to me here. But anyway, they then have their talk about trying to rally up new people. And then that's when they bring in a new character. They mention that a new survivor is going to be joining in the fray. Amy says she's going to access the file. And we get swung right into the character creation menu. It's a decent addition, I guess. It's alright. It's good for what it is. I feel like they could have done a whole lot more, but I don't find it bad. It's a pretty good addition. I'll be honest, it's pretty fun to it's pretty fun being able to create your own avatar within the Sonic universe. A bunch of people have made OCs. I've made an OC in the past. I'm not sharing that. You are not going to be seeing a screenshot pop up of my OC. I got rid of any evidence that ever existed. That's how embarrassed I was. But we don't talk about that. The body colors, as well as the eye customization, even the victory poses, I think are pretty cool. The voices is a good addition, but as a whole, it very much limits how vocal our avatar is. Like, he just doesn't say a word. Which I get it would cost like a whole lot extra to actually have these three different types of voices actually have different voice lines, along with them having to code that in. But me personally, they could have just stuck with the type 2 being the base voice and I would have been perfectly fine with that. Um, but yeah, the victory. But yeah, anyway, back to the victory poses. I really like how unique they are in their own way. They really give off like a survivor from the city, just become part of the resistance in the Sonic universe kind of vibes. Like I think it was Type 5. It was, but the Type 5 I think is really cool. Um, it could just be me being a huge Sonic fan, but I really like how it resembles Sonic. Argue with me what you will, but anyway. After I did all that, I then continued, and the cutscene continues, showing Knuckles walking in, and he's talking about the resistance and Sonic being finished. Yeah, right. Because if Sonic was finished, the whole franchise would be finished. Maybe, probably. Um, I don't know why I went for a full white body with blacked out eyes and like a blue pupil iris. I just said, fuck it, why not? I mean, who's gonna stop me? Not you. I know you won't. You can't stop me, right? You won't stop me, right? After that cutscene plays out, we then end up in the world map. Now, the world map, I will say, the world map is probably the strongest suit of this game, and that's pretty upsetting when you want the gameplay to be just as good. The world map, the way it's like showing all the different stages, and you have to like look around, and it takes you like it shows you the location of it on its world map. I really like that addition. It seems very, very genuine that these are where the spots takeaways, and these are like, you know, like, is that chemical plant? I completely forgot the chemical plant was in this. But yeah, Knuckles says that they've been torturing him for months. Oh, you think I'm lying? He says it right there. Like, you can clearly tell he's literally. I feel like this stage here really like showcases how dumb and disorientating the controls are. Like, even here, I was so confused. Like, one moment I was just taking a slight little jog in the park, and then the next minute I started hitting max 7 on the pedal, like I was Usain Bolt. Like, it's so disorientating. Like, why can't I just move fluently like in most other Sonic games? Sonic and the Secret Rings has better acceleration than this game, and that's a storybook side game that isn't even. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. Anyway, there's a part where you get introduced to using the Wispons with that weapon that you get from Knuckles. The ones that you start with is the rocket, which instead of transporting you to a rocket like it did in Sonic Colors, you instead bounce into the air. It gives you additional jumps. Essentially speaking, the rocket power up with the burst Wispon is multiple jumps in one, which I don't have any complaints for, but whatever. Then there's this whole cutscene segment that plays out, which I think the animation for that was really cool. Probably where all this game's budget went. But there's like another part where you have like a quick time event where you have to press it, and it just, I don't really see it as a quick time event. I don't know if they labeled it as that. They probably did, but even if they did, that didn't feel like a quick time event. That felt like a slow time event. Like, this game, like, Sonic games are all about going fast, but that kind of defeats the purpose if a quick time event takes about, going through stage 2 of this, and I've realized that I ran past a red coin that was conveniently placed underneath the platform that I was walking upon when I fell. Obviously, me being the good old stylo collector that I was being at the time, I decided why not I'll go after it. So I tried to go after it. I had the boost power up. I spammed triangle, but nope. I, Apparently the burst didn't want to work. I have to go all the way to the beginning of where it starts and go through it that way. Automation. We love when we have no slight control over where we go. They are really too. I'm not kidding. Even with the school system, they're way too lenient. How did I get an A for that? Well, obviously, after that stage, we then get the ability to go to our whole avatar area where we can just edit the clothings on them. And which I will say is a very interesting addition, and I really do like it a lot. So I realized that you get some things off rip, like a mask and like, knee caps and elbow caps. So I put those on, and then we get put into a cutscene in Act 3. And how does it start off? Oh yeah, so remember when Tails said, no, not Tails. Remember when Silver said Tails has just lost it? He seems like himself here. He's literally talking like himself. He hasn't lost his mind. He's there saying to Omega, sorry, I can't fix you out, little buddy. That's very much basic Tails. And then Chaos appears out of nowhere. And so, we've been building on Tails' emotions and mental and strength for all these years. So let's see how he tackles on Chaos when he appears. I'm not doing this video anymore. I'm done. After the fabled Sonic Forces video has been done, he has been left in anguish after just only reaching Act 3 of the cutscenes and gameplay. Oh, who am I kidding, man? I'm not no narrator. This game has broken me. I didn't think the game was this terrible. I don't know why I even enjoyed playing it in the first place as a kid. I regret even asking for the game, quite frank. I don't want to touch this game again. But if you guys really want to see me go through the rest of it against my will, drop a like, a comment, and yeah. Don't be sure to subscribe because the giveaway is still up as long as we get there. If we get to 500 subs by the 22nd of September, I think that's when early access comes out, then the giveaway will happen. So yeah, love you guys. Thank you for watching. In a bit, see family. Now I'm breaking.